Here it is, Infinite Banter with Mark Jolliffe, aka DJ Soundwave. This your man, DJ Real One, tuning in Infinite Banter. You know how we do it. Get it in. Let's go.
Infinite Banter podcast, baby.
Here it is, another episode of the Infinite Banter podcast. What is happening? My name is Mark Jolliffe, also known as DJ Soundwave. Thanks for checking out the show. Got a special one here. This episode is a torture episode. Not the whole episode, but most of it. For those of you who've been listening to this show for a while, every now and then, maybe about 4 or 5 times a year, I do this segment called Infinite Torture, where I will watch a movie. I've only done an album once, which is the first time I ever did it. Was listening to the Macho Man Randy Savage rap CD. All right. So that's the genesis of this. That was what started it. But ever since then, it's been only movies. And I usually watch a movie that I've never seen before and knowing that it'll probably be bad. Or it was not something that I would have cared about and I avoided it, or it just never came across my path. So today is a movie I've known about, I've heard about, I'm aware of its existence, but never saw. And if you heard the last episode, I talked about it in there. It's from 1985. The movie is called Rappin. And long story short, I was texting my guy, DJ Real One. He's been on the show numerous times. Known him for a long time. Good friend of mine. And I kind of lassoed him into it. Like, hey, dude, why don't you watch this thing? Because I like doing them with other people. I usually do them alone, but every now and then, I'll get Rhinoceros Funk to come on like he had. And my guy Tonio, who came on before. It's always kind of nice to have someone else to bounce the torture off of. Someone else to feel the torture chamber of this along with you. It's easier when you're doing something bad to do it with company as opposed to doing it by yourself. So, we're going to talk about the movie Rappin', starring Mario Van Peebles and others. Talk about that in the Infinite Torture segment, which is a majority of this episode. So I brought that up in the last episode. I previewed doing that in the last episode. Well, as we always do, before we go forward, we go back. And in the last episode, I had Azariah on to talk about his new album with slide beats called Black Falcon. Here's a clip from that episode with Azariah here on the Infinite Banter podcast. Flashback.
I actually said Black Falcon on this project I did produced by Cello Brown with my man Jay Hustle and Euphony Bars called Smooth Freshness Lafayette Cafe. It was something I said in one of the verses where I'm like, consider myself a Black Falcon. I consider a youth a hawk, and then Hustle was like a silverback gorilla. It was in one of the songs and I kind of said something to that effect. So it kind of just had a ring to it. I've said it in other verses before, and it's something that I always wanted to stick with and kind of, make a project off of it. And like I said, Slide Beach just, provided me with the landscape to kind of do that.
Definitely go back and check out that last episode if you've not heard it yet. Big shout out to Azariah. Been in the show multiple times. And check out that album he has with Slide Beats called Black Falcon. Definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. I've been doing this show for 6 years now, and it feels like every year I do this. Around March, April, early spring, I'm sitting here talking about, oh, this is my favorite album of the year. It's going to be on that list. And I already see this happening. So if I do a list, like I usually do, this will be on there. I'm pretty sure of it. And so Azariah, you got a classic on your hands. Big shout out to him. Check out Black Falcon on all platforms. Definitely check him out on Bandcamp. Speaking of albums, I'm doing something I haven't really done before on this episode. So I'm already doing something different by having a guest on for Infinite Torture. That's already a little out of the ordinary. But also, I'm doing a review of an album after the Infinite Torture segment from my man Evaize, MC out in Florida. He hit me up recently. He's been on the show a couple times, so longtime listeners should know his name. It's been a couple of years since he's been on, but he hit me up. He's like, hey, man, do you do reviews? Would you review my album? I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, it's definitely different than I usually do it, but I generally have the guest on, and them being on is my endorsement of what they're working on or what they've released. So in a sense, that is the review. But I've never actually done like a straightforward review of something without the guest being there. So that means I can talk bad about it, right? But no, I ain't going to do that at all. No, I'm going to definitely throw some flowers over at my man Evaize. His new album, It's About to Rain, produced by DJ Proof, is out right now. Go seek it out. It's on Bandcamp. And I really, really like it. I'm going to get into it later on, so stay tuned. If you could get through this torture segment, if you could sit through, it's going to be long. Hear us talking about that movie, Rappin'. After that, I will give my thoughts on the new album from Evaize and DJ Proof, It's About to Rain. So stay tuned for that. I like challenges. I do things differently, No, I don't like challenges. I just like doing... Let me change that. I'll do a review that's different, how I normally do the show, but I don't necessarily like challenges. Who wants to do things hard? I don't want to do things hard. No. Something that's different than what I normally do, but still in the idea of what I do. Was there a word for that? What is that word? Challenge is not the right word. Something else. Anyways, this whole episode is a little out of the norm, and I like that. It's like putting on that pair of pants that you haven't worn in a while. You put them on, you're like, all right, it's a little bit different, a little tight. Doesn't fit right, whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Let's get into the show here. I think Rappin' messed up my brain, and also I'm turning a year older. By the time this episode drops, my birthday should be a couple days after it, and I'm hitting a milestone number, a number that... I'm not really looking forward to, but I'm doing something special for it. So if you stay tuned to the whole episode, I'll tell you what I'm doing for this number that I'm turning. There's a lot of teasing in there, but I don't care. That's what we do here on the Infinite Banter Podcast, which you can hear on all platforms. Check me out on social media at Infinite Banter Podcast. Rate and review the show. Go on YouTube, type in Infinite Banter. You'll find clips from past guests, and a couple episodes are on there. Check out the Spotify playlist and the poll questions. All those things. And don't forget our sponsor, super7.com/Infinite Banter Podcast. They've got so many cool toys on there. Go ahead and get yourself something. Get yourself that new Eric B. and Rakim Follow the Leader set. Get yourself some Sesame Street characters. Get some G.I. Joe figures. Get them all while they're there. Check them out. super7.com/Infinite Banter Podcast. All right, enough bantering. Let's get into it. Time for some infinite torture. Strap it in. Get yourself a drink. Hopefully you've seen this movie before so you know what we're talking about. If you have not, I believe it's still on Tubi because it told me it was not going to be on Tubi anymore. And then I went on Tubi and it said it's still there. So I guess they couldn't really pull it. They're trying to scare you into watching it because it's going to be gone, but it's still kind of there. It's nonsense. So go check out Rappin'. I think the torture segment would be a lot more enhanced if you've seen the movie before. But maybe you haven't and you listen to us talk about it and you want to watch it. Or you don't. I don't know what your reaction is going to be. I know what ours is. Stay tuned for mine and DJ Real One's assessment of the movie Rappin' on Infinite Torture. Coming up after the one and only King from Queens speaks. DMC, he says this, and then it's torture time.
Yo, what's up? This is me, DMC, the K-I-N-G, the greatest MC in history. And right now, you're listening to Infinite Banter, because we will banter on forever, because this is the only place for all of y'all to ever be. I be Infinite Banter.
May I have your attention, please?
Infinite torture.
People think I didn't watch the movie. I remember the movie.
No, of course you did. Of course.
You know what I mean?
So you
can't call something bad without actually paying attention to it.
I do that pretty much all the time, so I disagree.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous.
There you go.
But,
That's a way to sum it up.
Yeah, complete garbage.
Cool, Kim. You're making me feel like the Grinch because I had all this hate in my heart for Vanilla Ice all these years. 30-something years, and now I'm
just warming you up to him, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, maybe wasn't that. Let me go listen to Ice. Let me go watch the movie. So, what was it, the Vanilla Ice? What's that Vanilla Ice movie at?
Cool as Ice or something.
You know what it's called, because you went and seen it. You went and seen it. You went and seen it. You know what it's called. You know what it's called.
I'm going to delete this. This whole thing's going to delete it.
Not only do you know what it's called, you was there opening day, all right?
Cut it out. Yeah, instead of the Star Wars poster, I really have Cool as Ice.
Yeah, with the motorcycle and the whole shit, yo.
So you seen it too?
Hell yeah. Twice.
You got the Blu-ray and the special director's cut.
Hell yeah, I do. And I'm trying to run into so I can get my copy autographed, you heard?
Get out of here.
Complete garbage.
Infinite torture.
What's wrong with you, Mark?
This is here another edition of Infinite Torture where I put myself and unfortunately somebody else through the idea of watching a movie. The parameters are that I've never seen the movie before. That's the point of this. So I've never seen the one we're about to talk about. Welcome in my guy. You've heard him on numerous episodes in the past. The one and only DJ Real One. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? I'm happy to be back.
Are you sure?
I'm very excited, man. I'm excited because let me just put this out there. I listen to all the shows, and my favorite part of your show is the Infinite Torture. So I'm glad to be a part of this segment.
Until you were part of it, though, it's different
Pretty
when
much.
when you're like on the sidelines watching it, like or hearing it, like oh man, that movie sounds awful. I'll never watch it. Now, like you're doing homework.
I will say this is the most work that I've had to put in to be on the show. Because usually I just come on promoting something fun that I'm doing and, some music. But this one I actually had to take time out and torture myself. Ugh. And it kind of hurt. I mean, it's
90 minutes of your time that you'll never get back, dude.
Exactly.
How many songs could you have made? How many songs could you have made in that 90 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. And now my inspiration for my future music is this bad movie called Rappin.
Oh,
that's my inspiration.
Oh man, so you already hate it. All right, good night. That's it. He doesn't like it.
That's it.
It's a torture. It's a torture segment.
Right. So
the cat's out the bag, but of course, people listening on the last episode already kind of previewed this hotness called Rappin from 1985. Canon Films. If you grew up in the 80s, Canon Films was like, they were it. When you saw that Canon logo, you knew you're in for a mediocre time. Sometimes a good time, but usually not too great. So,
exactly.
I want to say a couple things right off the top, but if you've got something you want to get out first, I don't want to step on anything you might say, but if you got any intro thoughts.
Intro to the movie or just to...
Just any kind of like general thought, because I have a couple general thoughts I want to kick off with.
Well, my general thought when you told me about the movie and without even watching the trailer, I was kind of excited. I thought, oh, how did I miss this one?
Right.
Maybe this is something that I should have seen back then along the lines of, what is it, like Wild Style, Breakin',
right?
Beat Street. I thought, man, maybe, how did I miss this possible classic? And now I know why.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when you hear about 80s, hip-hop themed movies, you just mentioned Beat Street, Breakin', Breakin' 2, Wild Style, Crush Groove. Right. You never hear anybody, no one ever's like, hey, what about Rappin'? Nobody ever says, what about Rappin'? Nobody's ever claiming this shit. Yeah. So now we know why.
Exactly.
So that was one of my general thoughts too, is that you always hear about these movies and we've all seen them, those that are fans of the music and the culture or grew up in that time frame. You just know about these movies, but this one never crossed my path. I never had even a second to watch it. Right. Like it's not even one of those movies like when you see it when you're a kid and you liked it because you were a kid and you don't know better and you watch it later like, oh, it's not that good. I remember it better than it was. Right. I never had that opportunity, man. I didn't, as a 10-year-old or whatever I was when this came out. It didn't cross my path, man. I never. Right. Nobody handed me yeah, right.
Like Breakin'. I mean, like right. So if you watch it now, like not that good. But maybe back then when you were younger, oh, this is the movie right here.
But there's nostalgia to that because you have like a memory. Right. Like I remember where I was when I saw this. I was at so and so's sleepover, or we ordered pizza and we watched Crush Groove. Like I have a Crush Groove memory like that. Like so, it's vivid for me. But nobody handed me a VHS tape from West Coast Video with Rappin' on it, saying, "Yo, watch this."
West Coast Video.
You remember them?
Wow.
Shout out.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
I had that
card.
Them
well. That's awesome.
Another general thought I want to say before I start talking about this, or we start talking about it. This is the movie that white people think all rap sounds like, right?
Bro.
I mean, Rappin' Hood, Rappin' Hood.
Oh my God, we started off with that.
I mean, that's what it is, dude. When I'm watching it, it's like this is the same every time a white person raps that has no love for the culture or thinks it's not music or whatever. They sound like this. They're stuck in this sound, and this sound in this movie is actually dated. Even though it's 85, the way they're rapping is not 85.
So anyone that's listening that wants to watch the trailer, when you pull up the trailer, right under the trailer, you're going to see Rappin' Rodney. Literally. Like recommend, like when I pulled up the trailer today, just to refresh myself, Rappin' Rodney was the one suggested video. So you're absolutely right about that.
Oh man. And it is Rappin' Duke like 3 or 4 clicks down, and then
pretty much,
all the Sugar Hill Gang like catalog.
Yeah. I actually have a note on the movie about that. If I could talk about that.
Yeah.
I pretty much said that the lyric, like right off the bat, they sounded like 1979, not 1985. And when I Googled that, I see that Lovebug Starsky wrote a lot of this. Did you know that?
Did you know that Mario Van Peebles, the star, his rapping was Master G from Sugar Hill Gang, overdubbed?
I had to research everything, and that's exactly why it sounds like 1979.
Right.
They're way late. By 1985, hip-hop was already kind of established, so they didn't have to really take it to that old school sound,
Yeah, it sounds like you just said, like Sugar Hill Gang, that 79, 80 era. And in hip-hop, we already know, this. We all know, anyone who's a fan of the music knows this. 3 months, 6 months, a year in hip-hop music is like a decade.
Right.
Everything changes so rapidly that that like on this, in this, like 85, you would think that they would have been up on things like pull out King of Rock or something. Like they had no idea how people were rapping in this era. But of course, it's Hollywood. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And Mario Van Peebles doesn't know how to do this.
Right.
Before I get into the cast, because I want to mention there's some names in here which kind of made you think it might be a good movie. It's on Tubi at least another day or two as I'm recording this. If you don't see it on there anymore, you're gonna have to. I don't know. You get to pay to see this. I don't know why you would, but
please don't. Watch the trailer.
Yeah,
watch the trailer. That's it.
That's a trailer. But the trailer you might think it's good. I watched one where the whole thing was Ice-T rapping about how the movie is this, true. And I was like, oh, Ice-T's in this a lot. Not really, but he is in the movie. Mario Van Peebles, who went on to do some other movies, and some are good, some are bad. Eric LaSalle, who you might remember from Coming to America, the Soul Glow guy, and ER. Yeah. He's one of the crew. I think they're called the Wild Thing Boys or something.
That was him. Yeah, I recognize him.
Yeah, and Kadeem Hardison, Dwayne Wayne from Different World was in it, wearing a Civil War hat for some reason. He didn't have the glasses that pop up and down, but he was in it. And Force MDs make a cameo too, so that was kind of cool. But this is brutal. And the Mario Van Peebles plays the main character named John Rappin Hood, so I guess it's like a Robin Hood thing, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the music, man, it sounds like Beverly Hills Cop music right off the start of it with that synthesizer shit. So they're even behind on that too.
The whole sound was just dated, and it just made me think, when was this recorded? I don't know when they made this movie.
Well, according to white people, it's probably new and fresh because they think that's how it still sounds.
If they watch it today in 2025, they'll be like, wow, this is rap. This is real rap.
Wow, they're really good at this. They don't even have tattoos on their face like these other ones do. This is the real OG stuff. It's always fun. I'm sure some people will be like, why is a white guy making fun of white guys?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly.
Whatever. We got like some cred in this, that we want to make sure that it's, not revoked. So we got to, let the others know that we can spot garbage when it's out there. We'll get to how much garbage this movie is. But so I guess the movie sets up where he was in jail. I don't really know why he was in jail, but he comes out of jail and he just starts rapping. The Mario Van Peebles guy. He just gets out and he's dancing and rapping. I've never been to jail. I know you haven't. I'm assuming if I go to jail for, more than like 30 minutes, and if I'm in there for a while, I'm not coming out like, rap it. I'm not doing all that stuff, man. I'm probably like, man, like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to live? What am I going to, have a job, whatever. He's singing and dancing like he's in a musical.
Yep. And I made a note that 1 minute into the movie, the worst Ice-T song I've ever heard in my life starts playing.
Oh, geez.
That song. So he made another one called The Glove.
Right.
And this song, Glove wasn't terrible, but it's early Ice-T. And this one is straight up trash rapping. I feel like he didn't even write it, to be honest with you.
He won't take credit for it.
Right.
Is that the Killer song? The one, or is that the one later he did? He did something called Killer or something in the movie.
The one later was actually good. I'm talking about the one like right off the bat. Well, Rappin' Hood's dancing around the neighborhood. That song.
That's Ice-T.
Rappin' Hood. Yeah, that's just bad, man. Yeah.
Oh, I got you to do it because I've done it like 3 times already. So.
Rappin' Hood. Rapping down the street.
Well, I had to pause the movie at that point, too, because I know that's not Mario Van Peebles' voice. I've seen him in a lot of movies, and it said Master G at least dubbed in the rapping stuff. So, you know, we can only blame Mario Van Peebles so much because he did the bad acting, but he didn't do the bad rapping.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing about Master G is, like, no disrespect to, like, an OG, but he's not really good in general. I mean, maybe they were the first, but we all know the story behind Sugar Hill Gang. So it's like, if you're going to do that, why not just get Grandmaster Caz, you know, like somebody who actually wrote the lyrics for Sugar Hill Gang? You know, I mean, I don't know. We could talk all day about the music, but let's get on to the story.
Yeah. Well, you know, speaking of Master G, his brother is in the movie.
Really?
Leo O'Brien. He's the kid, the brother of Rappin' Hood. And he had passed away in 2012, but he was in The Last Dragon, if you remember that movie, which is very similar to this, you know.
Okay.
So he was, I had, you know, again, this movie had a lot of like pause moments where I needed to get away from it and look up something because I'm like, who is this guy? Who is that guy? You know, and that little kid, like, I know I've seen that dude in something before. And yeah, he was in The Last Dragon, which had a lot of memorable songs, but they were bad too. You know, you got the glow. Remember that? Yeah, that joint?
Yeah. Classic.
So he was the younger brother of Master G. So when he does his verses, I thought he was the best. The bar is really low, but I thought he was the best rapper. Obviously, Ice-T doesn't count because he's not really one of the cast members as far as like the crew walking around in the storyline. But I thought the kid was the best of the group. I thought he was decent.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna set the bar low, he would definitely be the lyricist of the group.
He was the Rakim of the Wild Thing bunch.
Rakim of the group. Exactly.
And of course, there's a fat guy because there has to be a fat guy, and his name is Fats. Of course.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah.
So, so there's that scene when he comes home from jail, and then he comes, I guess, his grandmother's house. There's no explanation of where his parents are, you know, like anything like that. He just comes in, he just starts rapping. You know, him and his little brother do a routine. If they haven't practiced, he was in jail, unless he did it on the collect call, you know.
Okay. I have a note on that part, and it doesn't have to do with rap. He barks
just like the movie.
Dog. He barks like his dog he barks like a dog to his grandma. He walks in and starts like, roo, roo, roo. Do you remember that part?
God, yeah.
I mean, as if the rapping wasn't bad enough, like he's barking at his grandma. Like, what's going on here?
And she believed it was a dog, right?
Yeah.
So stupid.
Oh, my God.
I wanted the grandma to slap them both when they started doing that little routine, which felt like an hour. I know it was only like maybe a minute, but man, it felt long.
Now, I don't use the word cringe often, but that was cringe. I hate to use that word, but there's no other way to describe it.
No, it is. It's total cringe.
It's some early '80s Double Trouble type rhymes, just not as good as them.
No,
I mean you could watch Wild Style Double Trouble to this day, and it sounds good. But this one here, dude. I mean, let's get out of the rapping, man. Let's just talk about the movie, man, because the music is just making me mad.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of why I thought you'd be good for this, you know, because you're somebody who's in the culture. You make music, you make beats, you do all kinds of stuff. Been DJing for decades. I feel like your opinion carries a lot of weight here. And watching this, you know, as a fan as I am of the culture and everything, it just, man, it's kind of depressing because I feel like they really don't have an idea what the music is in the culture.
Yeah. And the movie's trying so hard to be like Beat Street or Crush Groove. Those movies were good. Now, at the time, man, like, you can go back and listen to that music. I mean, I don't want to keep talking about that, man, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it just stresses me out that they couldn't get better, like, people to write the raps, man. Otherwise, this might have been better.
Right. And I did see, and trust Wikipedia for what you will, this is considered part of the Breakin' trilogy. It's like, that's why Ice-T is in all three of them damn movies. He's in Breakin' 1, he's in Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, and Rappin' is considered a sequel. I haven't seen Breakin' 2 in like 40 years. I don't remember if this dude was in that or anything like that, so I can't connect those dots. But
I've never seen Breakin' 2, believe it or not. I have not watched that one. I watched Breakin', but I never. Yeah, I mean, Breakin' was okay. It is what it is.
Right.
But it never got into Breakin' 2. So to hear that this is a sequel, it doesn't surprise me. But what does surprise me about that note is the fact that there is no good dancing in this.
Oh my God.
Which takes me to my next note. It takes me to my next note. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because the first dance battle, bro,
dude,
like, what can I say? what can I say? Classic 80s ballet. Fame type. It's like Fame.
Dude, it's funny because it's like you're looking at my notes, because my note after I want grandma to smack them is, what is this dance club, and why is there a guy who looks like Rambo and another guy looks like a fake Michael Jackson doing some sort of like some, like ballet musical, I don't know what to call that, dancing. Like I was waiting for some break, and I was like, all right, let's go. Get some break dancing in here. You guys did, all these other movies in the past. Canon.
Yep.
Come on, let's go. Where's Turbo and Ozone? No, nothing.
That's what I'm saying. If this is supposed to be a sequel, like, come on, man. Like, seriously? Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I wrote down, is this Rappin' or Beat It? I felt like this movie, if everybody's seen the video for Michael Jackson's Beat It, I feel like this is basically a movie based on that video. The white guy, bad guy, and Rappin' Hood, I keep waiting for them to tie their wrists together and have like a knife and do the little dance thing where they're going to stab each other. This feels like Beat It.
Yeah. Well, they totally bit the concept, because after the little ballet dance battle, then they looked in each other's eyes and then shook each other's hands. It was so lame, man.
My note here is like, when does the hip hop part start?
Oh, I think I have that same note.
Do you know when? Because I'm still waiting.
Well, all I know is after that dance battle, all I hear, my next note is, hit me. Like, let's talk about those greasers, man. Those West Side Story greasers.
Yeah, the Jets or the Sharks. I forget which one's which. Yeah. What the hell was that?
It's supposed to be 1985, but it's looking like 1965. I don't know what's going on with the costumes, man.
It's possible because they filmed this thing in Pittsburgh. That Pittsburgh is not like, the hotbed for trends in 1985. So I'm not trying to hate on Pittsburgh. I've been there before. I like the city, but it's very possible that in 85, along with the Rappin', they were also behind on dancing and clothes and gear, and everything else is like just, they're not up to speed yet with what was happening.
I agree. I also have a note, that not the current note, but later, that actually says Pittsburgh, what's really going on? Like, this movie is making you look bad. Why are they trying to make the scenery? We'll talk about this later, but why do they try hard to make the scenery look so extra hood and everything abandoned and run down? You'll see it later in the movie,
right.
But Pittsburgh they made them look bad, man. They made Pittsburgh look like crap.
And the best part is like, so the city looked, fake, fake bad, right? But the characters all had clothes. They didn't look like they were hurting for money. Like they all had, they were dressed okay. I'm not saying they were dressed fashionable and good. I'm just saying like nobody looked like they were having a hard time finding an outfit. Like nobody's walking around with like holes in their shirts and looking like, the Brooklyn Brawler or something. They weren't dirty, even though the houses had like wood windows and everything. Like nobody had like a regular house or apartment.
No, it was strange. But going back to the dance battle scene with the greasers, then he goes on to say, "Bathroom fool."
Yeah, dude, that bathroom scene. What the fuck is that?
Bathroom fool. Like who calls someone out and says bathroom fool? Like,
you didn't do that back then?
No.
Back in like
Why
the
did
era.
you say that?
When you
Bathroom
were
fool.
so real, when you're out, DJing at a club or something, and you may have had a beef with like another DJ or something, you didn't say bathroom fool, and then go meet in the bath. Which I was confused because they were already in a bathroom. So were they going to another bathroom? Like I don't understand. Were they going to the girls' bathroom or the men's? Where were they going?
Oh my god, that was just brutal, man. I actually had to write down in my notes, haha, just so I remember how funny it was, because I was literally laughing out loud.
Yeah, I just wrote bathroom scene because I didn't know what to make of any of that.
and then I also wrote down, is this a comedy? Like, is this a comedy or drama?
Well, it is.
What is this? Yeah.
And I also wrote down it's the first gender neutral bathroom because the girl was in there too. So I don't know. Like I just said, I don't know if it's the men's bathroom or the women's bathroom. Maybe they were up on the only thing they were progressive about was the bathrooms.
The bathrooms, yeah. She was all in the bathroom that he came in. I don't know what's going on.
My man was taking a shit, and Rappin' Hood like told him to get out of there or something. I don't know what he was doing, and they're arguing about this girl that the thing that doesn't make sense, like the bad guy, whatever, I don't remember his name, Dwayne, I think. That was his girlfriend, the way they set it up. Rappin' Hood has been in the jail. So it's not his girl, at least as far as I know. So I don't know. I don't know what the beef is about. I don't understand what the rapping beef.
They didn't get into it. Yeah, I mean, at this point in the movie, I'm kind of confused, like you said, right off the bat. I don't know what the story's about. And then the next scene, you can talk about that because then it really goes off the rails. If it's the same note that I have.
Oh, well, I was going to say real quick that is he called Rappin' Hood because you know how you call like a fat guy tiny? Because he's not hood at all. He's got like the couple curls hanging in the front of his head. I don't know if he had eyeliner on. Like he just looked like a pretty man. So there was really nothing Rappin' Hood about him. But yeah, my next note is, it says, thank God a commercial. I need a break. Because on Tubi, they play commercials. Because I needed a break from this bullshit. I was like, right. I was really, I needed coffee or something. Red Bull, anything to get through it. My next note was another fat guy is hungry joke because they make a lot of fat guy jokes.
They make a lot of fat guy jokes, and then I also have a note about the MFing. I don't know if I could curse on here.
No, you go ahead, man. Go for it.
Because I got to emphasize this scene. I got to note about the motherfucking snack attack.
Fat boys are mad. They got ripped off on this right here.
The Fat Boys bite, though. The Fat Boys bite was so ridiculous. It was insulting, and I think that they need to put a copyright claim in on that one. And they owe them money for that scene.
And there's only one fat guy, too. Like, the other one's, like, all pretty looking like, theater majors. And then you got, like, Fats. That's his name. Because they couldn't come up with anything else to call him. It's like calling the fat guy in Star Wars Porkins. Like, it's like his name is just Fats. And he likes to eat. And you're in a warehouse with food. They don't explain why they're in a warehouse, by the way. I have no idea why they're there. I think they give food away later on. Somebody works there, one of the crew, and they steal cans of corn, and they give it, because he's Rappin' Hood, and he's giving it to the boarded up house people who never go to work, but they're always home and need food and heat.
At this point in the movie, like, I had to pause it and Google. I had to search when Crush Groove came out. And to our listeners, surprisingly, Crush Groove came out after this movie. So, I mean, the Fat Boys were already out with albums, but the actual movie came out after it. So it wasn't, it was a bite, but the scene was not necessarily a bite off of Crush Groove.
I see what you did there by saying bite, fat guy eating food.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy because I know Crush Groove came out in 85 as well, but you're talking about it's a few months apart from each release.
Yeah, right.
I
so
wonder,
that's what kind of shocked me.
Maybe one of the people who worked on this got like a advanced copy and wrote in the snack attack part. That's why it doesn't have any continuity to the plot. It's just kind of thrown in there. Hey, let's talk about the fat guy eating food because those guys did it at Sbarro and Crush Groove.
Well, like the Fat Boys were already making videos and songs about like all you can eat and everything. So it's definitely Fat Boys was popular back then. Being fat, porkies, and all that stuff, everything. That was a big thing back in the 80s, All
right, I need to ask Cool Rock Ski if he felt like they were getting bit by this.
Yeah, absolutely, because we definitely felt it.
Can you feel it? I mean, we definitely felt the bite on that one. And so there is one thing that felt kind of like current times. There's like a white real estate guy who's kind of like a mobster. He wants to buy up all the real estate in that area to build things and kick people out. Kind of feels like, sounds like a dude who we're all familiar with an orange face. Yeah. Like kind of has that feel to it. Because that's like every 80s movie, right? It's like the evil corporate, the types, they come in there and they have to buy up everything and you have to do like a talent show to raise money to save the neighborhood, right? Is that basically what this movie is?
Exactly. I think it's definitely that, and I think it's the corniest way of doing it by calling him Rappin' Hood. I mean, that is just idiotic. And by the way, do you know if this is some sort of musical or what is this? Like what is it labeled as? Because it's a bad one at that.
Yeah, it might be a musical or comedy or a thriller. I have no idea. It's not good. I know that, but it's That's a great. You know what? I could look it up on my phone while we're talking, but I don't know if I want to do it because my phone would be like, "Why are you looking up this movie again? I already told you everything you need to know."
because what's about to happen to both of us, because we were Googling this movie so much and looking it up, we're going to start getting Rappin' Rodney. We're going to start getting Rappin' Duke, Sugar Hill Gang. We're going to start getting all this crap on our algorithm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You can't get away from it.
Yeah.
I wrote down fat joke number 4. So, like, if you want to do like a game while you're watching this, just take a shot every time they do a fat joke. You might get a little buzz going to get you through the rest of the movie because you definitely need it. But they make a lot. The fat jokes come, they come quick. At least middle part of this movie, there, Fats is taking it from all sides.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, poor Fats, man.
I wrote down crush snooze since it's like a since it's an obvious ripoff.
Oh my God, exactly.
What'd you think of the not New Edition kids singing in the alley to the little kids?
Okay, so I don't. I do have a note on that. So I said this New Edition wannabe kids group is also really bad. What's happening in this scene?
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily hate it. I just didn't know the relevance of it. Like, why is this happening in the middle of the hood? I guess you would say, like.
And why aren't these kids in school? Like, there's a lot of kids watching.
Like, what was that? And what about the ballad song at around the 23-minute point where there was like a love song?
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, used edition is out there. These kids with
what's happening?
I'd rather watch what's happening. I mean, this used edition kids are out there singing to there's like one girl they kept showing. I'm like, okay, is he singing to her? They're like 12. I mean, it's like, this is ridiculous. Why aren't you in school? Nobody goes to work or school in this neighborhood. That's why the neighborhood's in terrible shape, because nobody's got an education or a job, and people are just sitting around, waiting for Rappin' Hood to rap his way out the hood.
I do have a note on that scene as well, because I think after the acapella New Edition song, I don't know who it was, if it was Rappin' Hood, I don't have a note on that, but it was I wrote down the worst beatbox ever happened in that scene.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yep.
And then I wrote down Sesame Street rap.
Oh, man.
The Sesame Street rap scene. That's what it felt like.
I've watched a lot of Sesame Street over the last few years. Let me tell you, there's some better rapping going on. Oscar the Grouch would kill these dudes in a battle. Count, get out of here. He would destroy these fools.
Wow. That's crazy.
So did you like the color freestyle when Rappin' Hood was just, they were throwing colors at him and he was just, rapping about yellow and green and he was smiling. I just wrote too much smiling. That's what I wrote.
Thanks for reminding me, because I did not make a note of that because I was trying to forget that scene. I didn't want to remember that.
It's not good. You never walk down the street
terrible.
And just start rapping about colors with 5-year-olds?
I mean, you can do it with melody with your daughter.
Yeah.
But I just can't do it, man. Yeah.
So when I pick her up from the bus this afternoon, I'm gonna put a couple curls in the front of my head, and I'm gonna walk with her from the bus to the door, and be like, Rappin' Hood, reppin' yellow and green. You know what I mean? It's blue because it's cool.
I think she will love this movie. I think that you might have just figured out the target audience. I think it's 5-year-olds.
So what you're saying is I got to watch it again?
Yes, with her.
She doesn't know how to work Tubi. That's Daddy's app. Pay me, Tubi. How many movies have I been promoting on here from that damn app? Let's go, Tubi. Give me some cash.
Pay the man. Pay the man.
There's a line that they said in this movie that I have to say, because I've never heard this in all the years I followed hip-hop music. So the girl, when he's doing the color freestyle, the girl comes up the block, and of course he can't rhyme anymore. He's so shy around this girl, but she heard him from like a block away. Somehow she knew that he was like the shit from like a block away. And she's like, "You ever think about going pro with rap?" I'm like, what? I never heard of that before. Going pro, like, what the fuck does that mean? It's like basketball or whatever. What are they talking about? Going pro.
That's hilarious. I love it. Yes. I don't remember that part. That's funny.
So I got to ask my next guest, did you ever think about that you would be going pro? When did you feel like you'd be going pro with this rap stuff?
That's awesome, man.
Stupid as hell.
I don't know about you, man, but my next note, it says, Ice-T, maybe he can save the movie, because we're at about the halfway point almost, I believe. I wrote down maybe he can save it. When I saw him, I said that.
Right. Well, they had that talent show, so this girl probably should give a little bit of insight for people who were never watching this. She apparently works for like a record executive of some type who is into finding acts and signing them and doing whatever they do. So she wants to get John Rappin' Hood to come down and, show his stuff so he can go pro with his rapping. And Ice-T is part of this talent show, right? He's on stage doing this killer song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wrote down, sign Ice-T. He's going to be big someday. Hey, executive guy. And he's kind of like, shoulder shrugging about it. Remember that? He's like, yeah, he's all right. The fuck?
So obviously, if you watch the whole talent show, it was the best song. I wrote down Ice-T, maybe he could save the movie. The song was decent.
Right.
I said this one sounded more like an Ice-T song because it was called Killer. So it sounded like an early Ice-T song.
Right.
Okay. However, why is there a dude? I'm laughing while reading this. Why is there a dude karate chopping the keyboard with an AK-47?
Because it's the 80s.
Next to his keyboard.
The 80s.
Bro, he's karate chopping the keyboard with an AK-47 sitting next to it. Like, what's happening here? A white dude at that.
Yeah, well, they'd be wild.
What's happening? What's happening here?
I can't even, dude. I have no thought. I have no idea, man. All I can say is it's the 80s. They just combined a bunch of stuff that 80s was. Yeah, let's just wreak havoc during this talent show.
How did you feel about the song? Like, what did you think about Ice-T's song?
You know what it felt like? It felt like the song he had to make so that he could become the Ice-T that we know. Because the dude from Breakin' and Breakin' 2, apparently he was in that also. And in this, there was if you remember a little bit, there was a gradual change. Like the content of his lyrics were a little bit. I guess that's one thing that you could point out in these Breakin' movies. You see the evolution of Ice-T, because by the time this movie comes out, he's doing a song called Killer. It's like, whoa,
right?
Hey, this is a fun musical movie where people have eyeliner on and rapping. What are you doing? And next thing you know, he's OG. It's 6 a.m. He's doing all that stuff. So
I almost feel like with you saying that, I feel like maybe they allowed him to have some space on this song and write his own song, when the other ones like The Glove and the Rappity Rap ones, I feel like, that was him, but I feel he was always a street dude, so he kind of was able to showcase who he's about to be. That's a good point you make there.
Yeah, and I don't remember, because my notes are all over the place, if Force MDs were part of the same scene, or is it later on when they did their song, Itchin' for a Scratch, which I knew that song already. I have that record. I knew that song.
That is my next note. So it was during this talent showcase. I said
sign them
with the classic. Exactly. That scene was dope. So the judges did not like Force MDs or Ice-T, who were the most talented of the talent show. So then Hood's rap, we can talk about that because that was the next part of the show.
There is a connection to Crush Groove. Force MDs have that song Tender Love in Crush Groove.
Okay.
So maybe I feel like they're borrowing notes or something. I think when Crush Groove wrote their script, they threw some papers on the floor, and whoever did this movie picked those up and said, "Oh, I got a movie here," and then and it stole the Force MDs to be in this.
We'd have to check the full credits and see who produced both movies. I mean, we'd have to check all the liner notes, but I definitely feel some kind of connection between Crush Groove and this, like you said.
I know the guy who did Car Wash did Crush Groove. I forget his name, but he's the director of both movies. So he had done a bunch of stuff. So he wasn't just some hack. But whoever did this is, because I don't know his name. Doesn't matter. It's Canon Films. They probably put some money into it, but most of it went into Mario Van Peebles, wardrobe and the ballet scenes. I thought was symbolic about this movie was, so the big real estate guy has this guy who does all the work for him, and he's driving this red, I don't know, LeSabre or something, whatever the car was. There's a scene where Eric LaSalle and Kadeem Hardison's characters jump on the hood, not Rappin' Hood, but the hood of the car, and they crash into a garbage truck. And I was like, this is symbolic of what this movie is. This is garbage.
Yeah.
They crash into a garbage truck. You could have ended it right there.
Complete garbage, as you say on Infinite Banter.
Exactly. There you go.
I think that scene was probably the best. I mean, I don't want to pick a best scene, but I would say the Ice-T Force MDs scene was the best, which it was only about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That was good, because right after that, they bring it right back to the garbage can with Rappin' Hood rapping to the drunk guy and the bartender who were fighting.
Wow.
That was complete garbage.
I forgot.
Yeah. So that's how he got his deal. So the bartender starts fighting with a drunk guy who wants more drinks or something. and then Rappin' Hood steps to them and starts rapping to them to tell them to break up the fight.
And he does it. They don't fight anymore.
It worked, yeah.
Now the best part about that is like it's two white guys and one guy's. I think both of them are drunk, so they probably thought he was doing good rapping too. Like, oh wow, we shouldn't fight anymore. This guy is rapping to us. I don't even remember. Like, it was long too. He was doing it for like at least 30 seconds. So
yeah,
this guy is such a great freestyler. I mean, he was Supernatural of the 80s, right? He was the Juice.
The Juice, he got the juice.
Yeah, well, much superior film in Juice than this thing.
Right.
Speaking of 80s, is it just me, did the bad guy look like Andrew Dice Clay with that leather coat and the hair?
Are you reading my notes is the question.
Oh, shit. You got the same one?
Because, yeah, and then I put the leather coat dude, because it's funny. I'm happy that you didn't remember anyone's name, because I also didn't remember anyone's name. I said the leather coat dude is hilarious. He's not only looks funny, but his whole persona and the way he talks, the way he speaks is just, it's like he needs to be a comedian, because that guy's awesome.
I don't want to spoil it, but later on, like when the movie's almost over, basically, he has the worst part. We'll talk about it later. I want to tease that because
it's coming up.
Yeah, he has a talking quotation mark segment that I got to talk about later. By the way, that red car that crashes into the garbage truck gets destroyed, but he's still driving it. This guy, right. I'm thinking like no insurance. They didn't have Progressive in the 80s. Like he didn't get it fixed. Nothing. Like they didn't do anything to fix it. But that little dude steals the car stereo, and here's where the movie really starts to. Not get that interesting, but this is what the point of the movie is, right? He steals the radio, he sells it to some guy in I don't know where the hell he is, across the railroad tracks for $75, and wow, boy, does the movie really soar after that.
I don't know if I just stopped taking notes, but there was a long time where I just kind of sat there and just watched. I don't know if I was getting bored or if I was really feeling the torture at that point, but I didn't have any notes about that, but I do remember my next note wasn't until he was in the studio.
You didn't. I mean, you already have let's just be honest, real. The amount of notes you've already done, and I've been talking to you for almost 40 minutes here. I mean, congratulations for you even have done this work. It's like, it was easy to check out of this thing. I would say like, I don't mean it literally here, but like the first 20 minutes, I could see like being somewhat watchable, right? To an extent. But man, when it gets to that like 45-minute point, like the halfway, man, I just wanted to like, I could think of many laundry. Like there's so many things I wanted to do that wasn't this anymore. It was just so dumb.
Yeah, yeah, it was rough. I couldn't even play my phone and like look at Instagram or anything because I was taking notes on my phone. So that made it even worse. So I couldn't even like, look at something else, but I was focused, man. So anyways, my next note was he's in the studio, so he got that deal, and at that point I can hear, that's when I noticed this sounds like someone. That's when I heard Master G's voice, and
there you go.
That's when I saw him lip syncing. If you look at that scene, you can actually see his mouth is not perfect to the timing of the words. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
I mean, I probably should have noticed it, but, I was like doing what you were doing. First of all, salute your effort for using your phone, which made you focus on it. I was writing down on a piece of paper. So therefore, I'm writing stuff and I'm not looking at the TV screen, which was kind of like my way of kind of half watching this thing. So I probably missed the lip rapping. Rappin' Hood.
And what I noticed about it is that's why they were showing his brother getting locked up. So like you're just talking about, the next scene, he's he sold the radio to the pawn shop, and next thing you know, he's getting locked up, and that's when they show Rappin' Hood in the studio going to get his $100 or whatever they're paying him, and they continue to show his brother getting locked up as opposed to showing Rappin' Hood rapping, and that's why, because he was lip syncing.
I still don't really understand what the point was. So Rappin' Hood went to the guy who bought the stereo that the kid stole and said, I'll sell it back to you for $250. And then Rappin' Hood had to find $250. And then the rap battle whatever he did in the bar, if he did that on a demo, the record guy was going to pay him $200, and then he got that $200. He was going to go buy the stereo back, but the stereo was gone. I don't understand why this stereo mattered. Like, it was going to save the neighborhood? Like, why did they need this fucking stereo? What kind of stereo did this guy have in this, like, Subaru or whatever? He crashed into the garbage truck that was going to save the hood. Why was this so important?
$250. I mean, that can get you a nice stereo. I think what I would like to say about Rappin' Hood, I want to give him some props, man. You know why? Because he is a real. I can't even believe I'm saying this. I'm trying to say this with a straight face. Rappin' Hood is a real street dude. He doesn't care about his rap career. He does not care about it. They were about to sign him to a major contract. He took the money and said, "Give me that cash money. I'm out of here, man."
Wow.
He didn't go pro. He didn't go pro.
No.
He did not go pro.
Man, he played for the ABA or the Developmental League. Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's the best note. I don't have that. I didn't see that. Real.
He turned down that contract to save the neighborhood, man. He said, "I don't care about a rap career. You got my bars. Take them and release them.
Right.
Make millions like they did off of Grandmaster Caz. Make millions and don't pay him shit."
Wow. You know what? I didn't catch that.
Movie.
Yeah, man. Well, because you have that foresight because you're not, you're paying attention. So, okay, man. That shows how real he was, right? Because he was trying to get this car stereo. He just wanted to make a couple $. He didn't care what they did with those lyrics, those verses. He wasn't into the music game. He didn't care about any of that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He just wanted this chick.
Yeah, and back then he was one of those rappers who rapped for the love, like a lot of cats did back in the day, appearing on Wild Style, appearing on Beat Street, and probably making no money because the Hollywood and the record labels ripped them off. That was kind of a little nod to that, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I know they weren't going for that, but it kind of showcased that, how the 80s, a lot of rappers got robbed, and Rappin' Hood was one of them.
So my question to you is, did they do that intentionally, or is that just kind of happened without their writing? Like, was that even a thing they were conscious of when they put this together? Because I didn't catch
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't. I was trying. I was getting so bored, man. I was getting so bored that I had to dive deep into the meaning of this movie, and that's what I got out of it.
I mean, maybe Master G told him stories about how they stole Grandmaster Caz. Well, they didn't steal it. I guess they just took everything from it and made a song and made, you know, a big record with it. And they're like, hey, you guys, you make this movie, why don't you do this idea? This guy doesn't want to do it. He just wants some cash to buy stuff. Okay, to save the hood. Oh, man. You might have gave this thing one less garbage can at the end of this thing when I rate this thing. It actually might get a favorable review. That's a pretty cool thing. This is a total random note here. What's with the orange cushion headphones? Everybody's wearing them. The big orange cushion headphones. I don't remember having those.
I think was that in the studio scene?
All the studio scenes, they had like these orange puffy headphones. Anytime someone was recording something for this goofball, they all had the orange headphones.
Yeah, I would say that back then that was probably the technology of the headphones. I mean, I was too young to be in the studio back then, and we weren't in the radio scene yet. But that would be my guess. Is that's probably what was out back then for the studio headphones. Yeah, I just for some reason it just like caught my eye. I'm like, wow, those are really fat and orange. Like, what are those things? The puffy part, not the actual headphone, just like that foam part that goes around it. I wrote down because later on there's like a card game. I put worst card game ever. Like, so the bad guy, Dice Clay looking dude, he's like pulling out cards, and somehow that decides the fate of Rappin' Hood or something. I don't know what the hell was happening, but he's like sitting in this room with no furniture and like whatever. I have the same note. I have the same note. The card scene was so corny. Number one, he pulls out the number one, I think, and he says, "I want to fight you." These 80s gangs, I also have a note, these 80s gangs are super friendly and nice. Oh, yeah. Or is this how Pittsburgh gangs were back then? There was no knife, nothing. They pulled out cards to warn him? Yeah. I'm like, what's happening right now? It's like Gambit, like throwing cards. Yeah. He didn't pull out like a switchblade. He didn't even have like a toenail clip or nothing. All he has is cards. And, of course, who's the king or the ace? Which one did he pull out for himself? Should have been queen. I don't know what the Joker. The Joker card. Yeah. It's so stupid, man. My next note says, this is a funny note because it says, there's been a long time with no rapping or singing. So I'm starting to get bored now. I thought this was a musical.
They gave you the bad rapping at the beginning, and then halfway through, you're like, you kind of missed the bad rapping because it turned into, I'm doing quotation marks, a movie. Like they tried to have a plot and tried to do things, and instead, the movie's called Rappin'. It's maybe like 12% rapping. The rest of it is just hot garbage plot. There is again, a lot of quotation marks here, a funny scene with the hooker because they shut off the gas so nobody has heat in the Rappin' hood. And so some hooker, I don't know I wrote down, how do they plan this? The guy has a gas truck. He's taking the gas out. I don't know what the hell's happening. And she comes over with her like Edith Prickly cheetah coat and looking like a hooker. And I'm surprised, by the way, for a hood, this is the first hooker we've seen in like 50 minutes. That's not much of a hood, by the way. Nobody dealing drugs, nothing. And she comes up to this fat dude who's got the gas truck, and he's like, oh, I'll do it. And she gets him inside of some apartment. I wrote down worst sex scene in cinema history. And the Rappin' Hood guys, they steal the gas truck to put gas in the home so they have heat while this woman is seducing this guy.
Okay, so I'm glad that you took all the hooker notes.
I always do.
Because my notes are less about her and more about the gasoline that powers people's heat. So I wrote down, like, I don't know, I'm not from Pittsburgh, I'm from Chicago, but since when does gasoline power people's heat in their houses?
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if this is a Pittsburgh thing. I mean, you've been to my house. We have radiators in the old Chicago houses that is run by natural gas, not like gas that runs your car. So I don't want to judge the gas that Pittsburgh uses, but if anybody can hit me up and let me know, I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
It was like gas, right? Like
it looked like it was a gas tank car. And I just had so many notes. Like, how did they plan this caper? Like they they didn't show that scene where it's okay, there's going to be gas. Then they just showed a hooker and some guy. And I'm supposed to put the pieces together in my head. Like, okay, so what's happening? They're stealing the truck and they're giving gas to everybody or fuel,
I didn't understand
heat.
That.
It's very, very bizarre.
That's so dangerous to just like pouring gas around. I mean, I don't know.
And these kids know how to drive, apparently, because you haven't seen them drive a car the whole movie. So somebody there has a license, apparently. I do have one nice thing to say about this movie here. There's a scene where the girl and Rappin' Hood, because I've done this myself personally, so I got to shout it out. You can go up on this mountain or hill, and you can see Pittsburgh from it. It's like a scenic view. Now, it's Pittsburgh from 85, so it looks a lot different now than it does then. But I've been up there, and it's a really awesome thing to stand up there, and you're standing on this hill, and you can see the entire downtown area from above. So they have that scene in there. So shout out to them. Yeah, cinematographer guy's like, hey, we got to get one good scene in this movie. So there you go.
I'm glad you found something positive, man. That's awesome.
And then here's something not positive. One of the goons had a Confederate flag on his coat. I was like, oh, yikes. Like the jean jacket, and he had like a big Confederate flag sewn on.
That,
I don't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy, but he should have been a shark or a jet. I don't know which one that is, but.
And this is the part where the movie gets interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's when the gang started trashing the neighborhood.
Right.
They come in and just start tearing shit up. And my thought is, are there any cops in this town? I mean,
well, they show up eventually.
Right. At least, and I also made a note, at least the gang is finally being tough for once. They're finally being tough, so that was good to see.
Yeah, there's a fight there that happens near like a dumpster in some area where, gentrification hasn't happened yet. And I wrote down, looks like Beat It again. It's another Beat It fight. Guys are kind of jumping on each other and kind of punching.
Yeah.
I watch wrestling, so I know what choreographed fighting looks like, and this is definitely choreographed to a full extent. And one guy looks like Michael Jackson, dude. There's a bad guy who looks like Michael Jackson.
Yeah. He does.
He might moonwalk. I don't know if he does a moonwalk and then punch a guy. I don't know what happens, but
you know what? Going back, because I missed a note. Going back to your beautiful scene of Pittsburgh, there was a scene where his girlfriend asks him, "Why waste your talent?" Did you see that part?
Yeah, I do remember that.
He knows he does, and then I wrote down, he knows he doesn't have any talent. That's why I just had to bring that one up.
So that kind of debunks what you said earlier about he had talent. He just wasn't looking to commercialize his talent So I'm not sure.
Exactly.
They both can't be true, can they? Or can they? He thinks he has talent, but he doesn't have talent. But everybody who is judging him thinks he has talent. But if they were to release it, he would have been a joke. So we're getting to the end of the movie here, man. There's a town hall meeting or something. I don't really know what's going on. Some sort of debate about the real estate guy taking over the neighborhood, and he comes in and raps his way into the hearts of the city council. Even the old white guy is offbeat, clapping his hands to this rapping thing. And they won the court hearing because of it. I think Diddy should do this because he could rap just as bad as these guys. Go out there, Puff Daddy, rap about, you didn't really do all the oil and all that stuff. And do this in front of some Republican white guys, and they'll start clapping for you offbeat, and you might win. That's what I learned from this movie.
Oh my God. I wrote down at that court scene, I wrote down cringe times 10. If only, like you just said, if only it was that easy to rap at a town hall meeting and conquer big corporations, we'd all be doing it because me and you can rap just as bad as them.
Man, I'm saying it worked though. They got the heat turned on, which they didn't need to have turned on because they already turned it on because thanks to the hooker. I don't know. I don't really know what. I still don't know what happened to the car stereo. By the way, where's the car stereo? I'm still waiting for that payoff. The literal payoff.
There's one line that I didn't want to skip. Not to go back to that. I don't know where this line was, but the line was so corny. The dude said, "Did you tell your mother not to set your plate for dinner because you won't be home for dinner?"
Ooh. Yeah, I remember that.
That was during the fight scene. I didn't want to miss that note because that was hilarious.
I mean, snap. I mean, he felt that one. I mean, that's one of those. He didn't have a comeback for it. He had nothing to say.
You won't be home for dinner. Okay.
But of course, there's no gas in the oven, so you can't cook anything. He should have been like, well, actually, because you're working for the guy who turned off the heat, gas, can't cook anything. If we were eating out, boom, punch him in the face. Something like that.
Right.
It's so stupid. We're going to Arby's.
Wow.
Then they're on the street. And the record guy, I guess, signs him to a contract based on his city council rap attack. I don't know whatever happened there. And he did sell out at the end, Eventually he did.
And that was a super shady deal. You already know that was probably the shadiest deal in rap history. We all know that.
And the paper was white. I didn't see. I was trying to read what the terms were. I couldn't read anything. It just said John Rappin Hood. Like I didn't see anything else when he signed it.
So I'm reading my notes and it says, "Where's the rap?" And like you said, it's coming back now.
Oh man, it's coming.
So I wanted more rap. And now I want it to stop. My ears hurt. When I'm done watching this, my note says, when I'm done watching this, I need to go listen to some Houdini and Run DMC.
There you go. Real 85 rap, not this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I wrote down this keeps getting worse because everybody in the movie gets a verse in the song that they perform after he signs a contract. I wrote down fat joke number 5 in the credits, so they make fun of the fat guy again. But here's the worst. Everybody's bad. It gets worse and worse and worse. Although the little dude I think was okay. Like that's why I said this is where I think he kind of showed Master G's little brother. The white bad guy. I think his name's Dwayne, the coat guy. He has a part. Oh boy. And they have like a country twang sound going on when he's rapping too. Boy, is that bad.
I have the same note.
Dude.
I have the same note. The white dude, villain named Dwayne, is rapping out here sounding worse than Rappin' Duke over a country beat.
Oh, it's Kid Rock.
So, yeah.
It's the first version of Kid Rock.
I mean, and how racist did this last scene get with like, let's make this white guy rap over country. Let's make this Asian guy, this Chinese guy rap over a Chinese sound.
Oh, man.
I mean, it was so corny. I mean, I was on the ground. I was rolling, dude. I was rolling out loud laughing, man. Literally. It was classic shit.
I just wrote down twice, it keeps getting worse. Make it stop.
Oh, I think I also wrote that down. I said, please make it stop. I'm done with this crap. Where's Rappin' Rodney? I wrote down. Oh, how about the old lady rapping? That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. The grandma, right? And the Italian guy with the hot dog stand or whatever. I'm surprised he wasn't doing something that was very Italian. I don't remember his verse, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the credits song switches. It becomes a different song, which is actually worse than this one. It's like a produced, studio song. And I don't know what it was about. I just like, whoa, more awful than what I just heard. Oh.
It's funny because I was hoping the credits would have like Force MDs or another Ice-T song that would be good.
Nope.
And it just got worse, man. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it sure did.
Yeah, dude. So that's the movie, man. Rappin'. The movie that you and I have never seen all these years. I mean, we're old enough to have seen it, if not when it came out, at least a year or two after. And I'm just surprised it's never popped up on TBS or on cable to where I saw it and sat and watched it. It just never happened. I never cared.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because it's so bad that they would never show that crap. Let's be honest.
Crepin hood. So, you know, you already know because I do this thing. You've heard so many of these. I give the garbage can rating. So 5 garbage cans is, you know, it's the worst. It's a terrible piece of shit. 1 garbage can means it's not that bad. It's actually tolerable. And, you know, you kind of go from there. It's like the reverse of 5 mics. It's like in opposite order. 5 is bad in this case. Man, I'm going to go ahead and rate it 4.5. And I was going to say 5, but because you told me about the idea that he wasn't a sellout, although he did at the end, but at least he held his ground for most of the movie, so I'm going to give him credit for that. And Ice-T is in it, Force MDs. There's like maybe 3 minutes of stuff in here you can watch and enjoy, so 4.5.
Okay, I like your rating. Very good, very strong rating. Now, I'm going to give you 2 ratings. Is that okay? I don't know.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You're a guest, man. You do whatever you want, man.
So what I would like to say is I have 1 rating that is if I wasn't a hip-hop head.
Right.
Okay? So if I was just a general audience, not your listening audience, if I'm not a hip-hop head, I give it 3 out of 5 cans.
Okay.
Okay?
So still bad.
Now, so still bad, 3 out of 5. However, from a hip-hop purist, DJ Real One standpoint, I give this 5 out of 5 cans.
Damn. Full garbage cans.
Full rating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's full.
There it
is.
Yeah.
I told you, like, that crash into the garbage truck was to me that should have been on the poster.
Yeah.
Rappin'.
Right.
Rappin'.
Crapping.
Yeah, right. Yeah, dude, I wanted to give it 5, but I've seen worse stuff than this. As bad as this is not the worst thing I've watched for this segment. Right. So I can't quite put it there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get there if I ever watch this again. Maybe I'll just like it, you know, I'll like the rapping and the hooker scene and the you know, whatever else happened that I forgot about already.
Well, like I said, that is strictly from a purist standpoint, but from like a non-hip hop head, 3 out of 5. So like you said, it's not the worst, but from someone who loves this culture,
right.
This movie disrespected the culture to the fullest.
Right.
With the exception of, like you said, Ice-T and Force MDs. But I still recommend people to watch it just for the comical aspect of it.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy bad, crappy 80s movies, this is it right here.
Yeah, it's like, you know, saying you ate something that you'll never eat again. Like, oh, I tried it once, I'll never go there again. Like, it's like that kind of thing.
Right.
You should try it, knowing that you probably won't like it, but just so that you can say you did, because everybody else, well, no, nobody's talking about this movie. I should take that back. Nobody's talking about it. So now you have something to say. Hey, you ever see Rappin'? And tell them it's good, and then make them watch it. Joke's on you, Jack.
April Fools.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, man, first of all, I'm sorry you did this, but thanks for doing it. And I appreciate you putting in the effort for this horrible, horrible movie.
It's funny, man, because I heard you did a couple with Tonio, and also you did a review with I forget
Rhinoceros Funk. We did Cocaine Bear and Cruel Jaws. There were a couple real stinkers, of course.
Yeah, it's always fun. Shout out Rhinoceros Funk. It's always fun to watch these. Or I should say to listen to your reviews, knowing that you've seen the movie already. So when you did the Cocaine Bear, that was fun. So I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. And like I said in the last episode, I hope people watch the movie before. I think it's better if you've seen it already because you know what we're talking about. But maybe hearing this, you were shitting on the movie almost the entire time. But maybe, maybe you might want to still see it because I want to see how bad it can't be that bad. It's that bad, though.
Right.
But, you know.
It's that bad.
But what's not bad is DJ Real One killing it on YouTube and doing things. Go ahead and promote anything you want to let them know about so they don't just think that you're all about watching bad shit, that you actually do some real productive things in your life.
Thank you, man. Now, if you guys want to watch some good shit and some good content, check me out on YouTube at DJ Real ONE. So DJ Real One on YouTube. That's where I'm at these days. I've been coming up with some live mixes, just getting back into the DJing. I've been kind of having fun with it, DJing live sets, reviewing beers, unboxing records, just having fun with it, man. And for those of you that like my production and my music, stay tuned. I will be working on something hopefully in 2025. But for now, come join me on my YouTube party. Let's go.
There it is, man. You've been killing it on those Fridays, and I know, man, you've been doing the 90s theme and the 80s theme, and maybe you'll do a Bad Movies soundtrack theme or something. Actually, you could do songs from Breakin' and Crush Groove and stuff like that, and it would actually be good.
Yeah.
Nothing from this though. I don't
exactly.
I mean, Itch or Scratch is not terrible, but I don't know how.
Right.
It's kind of dated, man. It'd be hard for you to. I don't know how you work that into a mix, dude. That'd be a tough one. But man, thanks
this
for
Friday.
Yeah,
stay
right.
Tuned.
Stay
you
tuned.
Might hear
man.
a song from Rappin.
Man, so it was complete garbage. Yeah, it definitely was. Rappin' Hood. I couldn't stop saying that after watching the movie because I felt like they kept saying it.
Like I said, as soon as I get off this phone call, I will be turning on some even Fat Boys, Run DMC on my way to work, man.
Yeah, man, play that real shit. Go play UTFO or something. If you want to go back to '85, play Lottie Dottie or something. It's almost got to cleanse yourself. You need like a flush of this out of your system, and you need to go back to '85. Play King of Rock, Fat Boys Are Back. Whatever came out in that era. Definitely go get that out of your system, man. Big up for doing this real. I know you got real things to do, and this now you're done. You can throw away those notes and burn them. Now you can move on with your life from Rappin' Hood.
Yes, sir.
Man, thanks for doing this, dude. Appreciate you, man. And yeah, this movie, complete garbage.
Complete trash.
Complete garbage.
By the way, I couldn't not play this little part here. So when I called my man DJ Real One, as I do with a lot of guests, we talk for a few minutes before the actual official start of whatever I'm getting ready to do with them is recorded and played here on the podcast. And I was acting a damn fool because I was giddy as hell to talk about this movie, even though I think it's garbage. I was like in a weird mood because it was so bad that I couldn't stop, talking like the movie. So here's a little extra snippet of something from my chatting with DJ Real One here. If you hadn't had enough of torture, you're about to get a little bit more. It's only about a minute, so don't worry. This is not a lot, but it was too fun to leave on the cutting room floor. So here's extra torture overtime. Sudden death, torture. Here, the Infinite Banter podcast.
All right, man. What's going on?
Rappin' Hood. Rappin' Hood. Fucking stupidest shit ever, dude.
Oh, man, bro. I can't believe I actually watched that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I got a 3-hour window on Sunday. I'm like, I gotta rep this shit up. And watch this bullshit because Tubi kept telling me I only had 5 days to watch it because it was going to leave the site. Why they would get rid of this gem is beyond me. But,
oh, man. So, Tubi, the place for infinite torture.
Tubi is the place to be for rapping. I can't stop talking like that.
Oh, man.
So congratulations, you've made it this far. You've gotten through an hour of talking about the movie Rappin'. I didn't want to say how long it was for that segment beforehand because maybe some of you would not listen. So yeah, it was a lot to talk about, and we could have talked about more if we wanted to. But go check out Rappin' if you could feel the torture that we felt checking that out. Definitely appreciate all of you who stuck through this thing and made it through it. It's definitely one of those movies that I can say I've seen. That's about it. Make sure you check out DJ Real One on social media and check out his YouTube page, teaching you guys how to drink and what to drink. It's probably even a better way of doing it. What to drink and how to drink it. He's big on the Belgian brews. I've got some of those glasses back from when I would drink with him back in the day. You buy yourself the specific glass designed for the specific alcohol you're drinking. Get your game up. You're older now, as I am. And make sure you're drinking the good premium alcohol. No more Budweiser and Miller. Do it the right way. Get yourself some Belgian brew and check out his YouTube channel where he has videos dedicated to different Belgian brews, and he shows you how he makes beats, and he's got mix shows that he does on there live and everything. Definitely go check my man out, DJ Real One on YouTube. And I'm sorry I took away 2 hours of his time with this nonsense called Rappity Rappin'. All right, stay tuned. We're going to wrap up the show here, talk about the new album from Evaize. It's About to Rain. Stay tuned. My review of that album's coming up.
Yo, what up? It's Evaize right here with DJ Soundwave. Check out that Infinite Banter, nothing but raw hip-hop, man. We're from Miami, 305, but this hip-hop shit is global, man. From everywhere, man.
You're checking out the Infinite Banter podcast, and as I teased earlier in the show, We're going to do an album review from my man Evaize. The album is called It's About to Rain, produced by DJ Proof. Evaize has been on the show multiple times, so definitely people who have been listening to this show should remember Evaize and definitely check him out. He's got some great projects over the years. Check out his Bandcamp. He's got albums on there you could check out. Salute to my man Evaize. Let's just get into the album here. It's called It's About to Rain. 12 tracks total, and the first track is a clip of Matthew McConaughey from True Detective. And when I heard it, I'm a Matthew McConaughey guy. People who know me know that's one of my guys. That's my dude. If I see he's in a movie or something, I will watch it. I've even seen some of the romantic comedies he's done. So that's my guy. As soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, okay, what's Evaize doing here when my Matthew McConaughey on this opening track? But definitely it sets up, the track is called This Universe, and it sets up the album. It's a very personal album, a lot of introspective feeling towards it, and that's definitely what I got out of hearing it. The second track, Where My Lighter At, really helped set up the tone of the album as far as musically. So the McConaughey opening one kind of sets up the feeling of it. I feel like this one sets up what you're going to get into with the music and the lyrics and the production of it. Track 3, one of my favorite tracks on here, Put One in the Air, really dope. I love the vocal sample in it, and Evaize definitely has a good way of riding this beat here. You could start to tell that he's kind of going through some stuff that he's talking about from the past and pouring it out in the pen, and this album is a reflection on that. And the fourth track here is called Circa 92, and this one right here, he's talking about the old days, like stuff from that era. You grew up in the 80s and the 90s, but specifically here, 1992, a lot of the things he's referencing in here, you will definitely remember, and it'll bring back a lot of nostalgia and memories for you. So salute to him. Get into track 5. This song right here is called Heart of a Glacier. One of my favorite tracks as well. A lot of boom bap drums on here, and the bars are heavy on this one. I feel like this is a good, kind of middle of the album song. A lot of us old heads, we just like that head nod shit. And when this one comes on, you start to get into it, like, okay, all right, let's go. And his lyrics, he definitely bar heavy on this one. Salute to Evaize. I definitely feel that track a lot. Number 6 is one that really stuck out as well. It's called Abomination, and the piano sample in there and has like a Halloween, sinister feel to it. It's really, really kind of grimy and has that feel of something sinister going on. I really like this track a lot. So Abomination, one of my favorite tracks in there. And I've said this before in this podcast. You have a piano in a song, it just catches my ear. That's why someone like Pete Rock always grabs me, because I love piano in my music, without a doubt. Track 8, Morning Fog. A lot of features on this one. Mr. Personal and Blackout might be my favorite beats on the album. It's definitely a highlight track for me. Morning Fog. So check this album out. This is definitely one of those that you're going to go back to a lot. Morning Fog from Evaize, track number 8. Track number 9, She Probably Don't Exist. And this one right here, we could all relate to. Any of us who've had some women issues in the past, some relationship problems, somebody maybe gave you a hard time, took me back to my single life and my dating days, trying to figure out what I'm going to do next, this dating scene. This track really, stands out, kind of brought back some good and bad memories of that era, because we all struggle with that until you finally find somebody you end up marrying and, have kids with. But even then, things can change. So this track right here, She Probably Don't Exist, track 9, definitely speaks on that. A lot of you listening will probably understand what he's going through when you hear him talking on that song. Track 10, No Matter What, real inspirational. This track and a lot of the album sounds like he went through a lot. And there's an audience for this message here. So people listening, when you get to this track, I feel like a lot of the listeners are going to hear this and are going to get some motivation, some inspiration from what Evaize is pouring out into this track here called No Matter What, track 10. Getting close to the end of the album here. The last song on the album, It's About to Rain. This is track 11. Another sick beat. Production track is crazy, and the hook is sick. This one might be my favorite track on the whole album, and it makes sense that he would call the album It's About to Rain, and this song really stands out as a signature song. I'm just going to say this is my favorite song on here. Let's go ahead and let's not be wishy-washy about it. This right here is my favorite track on the song. The production is crazy. The hook is crazy. Definitely my favorite song, and a good way just kind of wrap up the album and just take it home. You know what I mean? You got runners on all the bases and just hit a grand slam with it at the end and win the thing in the ninth. That's what this song right here does. Takes it over. And then he closes out with my man Matthew McConaughey. All right. I'll do the album for you, Evaize. I'll do it real quick. All right. And it's called Eternity. It's probably an awful Matthew McConaughey impression. He comes on to kind of bookend it. So he's on at the beginning of the album. He's on at the end of the album. I believe this is also from True Detective. I don't know if he wants me to give away But I like that season with him and Woody Harrelson. That was a great first season of True Detective. Like I said, McConaughey's just that guy. His voice just carries meaning to it. Even when he says something simple, he's the kind of guy who could like read the back of like a label of something. All right, so it's got some fiber and dietary fiber, carbohydrates high. All right, this is what we're gonna do here. So I don't know. It just you just want to hear his voice. It just kind of solidifies what Evaize is doing here. So salute to Evaize. Go check out this album. And DJ Proof is nice on the cuts. Let's not overlook the production and just the cuts he does on here. Just phenomenal. My favorite tracks on here, track 2, Where My Lighter At. Track 3, Put One in the Air. Track 5, Heart of a Glacier. Track 6, Abomination. Track 8, Morning Fog. And then track 11, my favorite song on the album, It's About to Rain. Definitely go check out Evaize. Follow him online. Check him out on Bandcamp. Salute to DJ Proof. They put together quite an album here. It's called It's About to Rain. Find it on all platforms. Big up Evaize. I feel you, man. This album was dope, dude.
What's good, everyone? This is your man, M. Wason, a.k.a. He Did It Again. And you're listening to the Infinite Banter Podcast, where the conversation can and will go in any direction. Music, movies, TV, sports, video games, life, man, even cereal, because it's the Infinite Banter Podcast. Check it out.
Time for you to leave, asshole.
All right, that is Kirk Acevedo doing what he does. He's pushing me out the door, get the show over with, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But as usual, before I go, a couple quick things. So I had mentioned earlier that I'm putting out this episode right around my birthday, and I'm hitting a milestone number. Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, I'm turning, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like saying the number. I don't know if I should just say it. I don't know. Whatever. People who know me know how old I'm turning, man. It's definitely an age where you're like, man, this is crazy. You're hitting that time of your life where you got to start thinking about AARP and watching the news all the time and slippers and, you know, shoes where you don't have to tie your shoelaces because you don't want to bend down because it's too much work. Like, you know what I mean? I'm hitting that age, getting that age. It's happening as it's approaching, as this podcast is being recorded. And you can't stop this shit. But you can do things to slow down the aging process as far as like eating better and exercise. And I'm trying to do those things. So not trying to preach here, but definitely trying to get back to what I looked like when I was 44, 45, when things were a little bit less, mushy. What the hell am I talking about? Salute to COVID for messing up everybody's routine and then keeping us out of that routine for a long time. But what I want to say is that I'm going to do something special for my birthday. I haven't been on an airplane in a few years. It's been well before COVID since I flew anywhere and really went anywhere. And what I was trying to do, for years was, and I was doing, pretty regularly, I'm trying to go to every baseball park. And I've got a lot of them. I think I've got 17 done. So I'm more than halfway finished. And I've been wanting to go to, I haven't been to a ballpark outside of the Chicago area since 2018 when I went to the new Atlanta Braves Stadium. And back in the fall, my wife and I were talking, and I just said, when I turn this age, I almost said it, I don't want it to be, going out to Chili's. I want to go somewhere, not here, want to leave, go someplace. Like Bobby Brown, I want to get away. And I always said I have on my short list of cities I've never been to. Seattle is on that list. It's in the top 3 cities I want to go to. And I'm like, you know what? I want to go to see a damn Mariners game, and I want to go to Seattle. I don't want to go to the Space Needle. I want to get some Starbucks, the original Starbucks. I want to go to the Amazon building or whatever the hell it is. I want to see, the waterfront there. I just want to go someplace. I want to see the mountain. I want to go somewhere else that's not, suburbia Chicago, right? I don't want to be in Cheesecake Factory for this milestone number that I'm about to hit. And I've been through a lot for the last few months, so I feel like this is a good time to get the hell out of here. My daughter's 5. It's the first time she'll be on a plane. First time my wife and I have been on a plane together, and we both haven't been on a plane individually in years. So it's kind of scary a little bit, a little crazy, but can't wait to do it. So I'm spending my birthday weekend in Seattle. Definitely, hit me up when you hear this episode if you got any tips or anything I should be doing. I'm there. I don't mess with seafood, so I know that's a problem because they have a lot of good seafood. Apparently, I will not be eating any of it. I will watch other people eat it, I guess. At Pike's Market where I see people throw fish and people watch them throwing fish. Sounds kind of gross because I don't want any of those guts getting on me. You know what I mean? But speaking of gross, there's one thing I'm going to do, though. When we go there, there's some wall where people put gum on the wall. and you add to this gum wall and you keep putting gum on it. It sounds disgusting. I don't know. I got to bring like a glove or something like that. I don't want to catch anything, but we're going to do it because it's a touristy thing to do, and you're in Seattle. You might as well do it once. So we're already talking about what kind of gum we're going to chew up to put on the wall. So anyway, thanks for checking out the show. My happy birthday gift to you is this episode where I had a lot of fun talking about rapping with my man DJ Real One. Salute to him. Go check out that movie if you've not seen it, and check him out on YouTube and follow him on social media, DJ Real One. Real easy to find on YouTube. Got lots of great videos on there. Definitely follow him. And definitely check out my man Evaize. His new album with DJ Proof, It's About to Rain, is out right now. You heard what I thought about it. I like it a lot. It's great. Definitely one of those albums I'll be thinking about for the end of the year, like top albums. It's right there in that category. So big salute to Evaize, an album that made me think quite a bit. And I like those kind of albums where you come away with something. So salute to him. Go check him out. And I appreciate everybody for listening to the show that you can find on all platforms. Rate and review it. If you want to give me a birthday gift, write a review and subscribe and give me 5 stars. You want to be kind to me? Do that. That's a great birthday gift. And tell a friend and repost and like it. I appreciate you doing that. Go on YouTube, type Infinite Banter for clips from past guests, and follow the show on all platforms at Infinite Banter Podcast. And check out the sponsor, super7.com/Infinite Banter Podcast. All right, I'm out of here. I got to go on a plane, go to Seattle, drink some coffee, do my damn thing. Everybody out there, I appreciate you for checking out the show. Big up to DJ Real One. Salute to my man Evaize. Until I do another one of these, I'm out.
Hey, asshole, get off the road.
Being on the Infinite Banner with my man Mark has been a pleasure.